My name is Sarah, and I'm 35. For the last 10 months, I've been dating Ryan Carter, a man who, on the surface, seemed perfect, kind, attentive, effortlessly charming. We met through mutual friends at a summer barbecue last year, the kind of meeting that felt like fate, if you believed in that sort of thing. From the first laugh we shared, I knew our connection was rare, magnetic, and dangerously comforting. Ryan is 34, works in construction management, and until 2 weeks before Thanksgiving, I truly believed our relationship was solid. Weekends together, casual talks about moving in, joking about meeting each other's families, normal, healthy, the kind of slow-building romance that makes you feel invincible, or maybe just naive. It was a Tuesday evening when the first Fisher appeared. We were curled up on his couch, half watching a Netflix movie neither of us cared about, when he muted the TV, leaned back, and gave me that carefully casual expression. You know the one that screams, "I'm about to drop a bomb, but I want you to think it's nothing." "So, I need to tell you something about Thursday," he said. I nodded, bracing. "Okay." "My ex-girlfriend is going to be at Thanksgiving dinner." I froze. My mind replayed the words like a scratched record. Thanksgiving, Ryan's ex, at his family's house. My pulse skipped. "It's totally platonic now," he rushed on, as if sheer velocity could cover the crack in the story. "She's like family. My mom insists on inviting her. Been over 3 years, but, I wanted you to have a heads up." I blinked, trying to process. 3 years? How casual can it be when the ghosts of past laughter still echo through the walls of your life? "And you're only telling me now?" I asked carefully. He shrugged, the picture of innocent nonchalance. "I didn't think it'd be a big deal. You're secure, right? You're not going to be weird about it." That phrase lodged in my chest like a stone. Not going to be weird about it. The unspoken warning, a preemptive justification. The kind people say when they already expect your reaction will paint you as the villain. "How long were you together?" I asked, keeping my voice even. 5 years, he said casually. "But ancient history. Over 3 years ago. We're both over it." I nodded slowly, my mind splitting into two conversations at once. The one he was speaking aloud, and the one my gut was screaming. Over it? Totally platonic? Or convenient half-truths? I smiled faintly and promised, "I'll stay calm." That night, while Ryan dozed with the TV murmuring in the background, I made my own plans. My phone lit up the darkness, and I did what anyone in my position might do. I looked her up. Stephanie Collins, 33, Ryan's ex. From the photos, they were inseparable once. Vacations on sun-drenched beaches, Christmas mornings, laughing in crowded wedding photos. The kind of happiness that doesn't evaporate easily. Scrolling further, I found the recent ones. Stephanie with a different man? No. The captions clearly indicated Ryan. Subtle but unmistakable, cozy dinners, inside jokes, private albums. My chest tightened. By morning, curiosity had mutated into resolve. I created a burner Instagram account and sent her a message. "Hi, this will sound strange, but I'm dating Ryan's girlfriend, Sarah. He told me Stephanie will be at Thanksgiving with his family, and I'm getting weird vibes. Thought you might want to know." Within an hour, she responded, "Wait, what? He told me he'd be with family, didn't say anything about you. That's weird." Stephanie had been dating Ryan for 5 months. She hadn't met me. She had no clue he was attending Thanksgiving at my expense. "Do you think there's something still there?" I asked, carefully neutral. She replied slowly, "I don't know. But tomorrow's dinner will tell. I'm nervous." Something inside me stirred, a mix of vindication, fear, and moral clarity. I made a decision. Stephanie would come. Not to shame Ryan, not for chaos, but so that the truth, his lingering attachments, his omissions, would finally meet the light. The plan felt reckless, exhilarating, necessary. I gave her the address, suggested arrival just as the dinner began, and put my phone down. I told myself, it's about honesty, not drama. As I left Ryan's apartment that morning, his words haunted me. "You won't be weird about it." That simple line, meant to reassure, had become the challenge. Could I stay calm when the entire carefully constructed facade of his perfect relationship was about to crumble before my eyes? I didn't know, but one thing was certain. Thanksgiving would never be the same. The next morning, the air was crisp, tinged with the faint smell of fallen leaves and pumpkin spice from the nearby cafe. I tried to act normal, like any other Thursday, but inside I was a storm. My coffee was bitter, my thoughts bitterer. Stephanie had agreed to come. She was cautiously intrigued, and part of me admired her bravery. I left my apartment with a casual smile, letting Ryan believe I was his calm, secure girlfriend. He chatted happily about Thanksgiving plans, the family's turkey, his mom's stuffing, and I nodded along. Every laugh, every casual observation about his mother's meticulous table settings felt like walking a tightrope over a pit of suspense. By 12:30 p.m., we pulled up to his family's suburban house. From the outside, it was immaculate. Brick facade, autumn wreath on the door, a smoke-tinged chimney promising warmth inside. Inside, the house smelled faintly of roasting turkey and cinnamon. His mom, cheerful and warmly evaluating, greeted Ryan with a hug and me with a polite handshake that lingered just a touch too long, like she was assessing my every move. His dad offered a firm handshake, the classic dad interrogation. "What do you do for work? How's your family?" I answered politely, aware of every glance, every nuance. And then there was Mark, Ryan's brother, completely oblivious to the tension that had been simmering between me and the past. Ryan greeted us warmly, standing tall, confident, and completely unaware of the storm about to crash into his neat little world. The small talk began. Ryan sat in the armchair closest to me, technically not next to me, but close enough to laugh and exchange glances with Emma. Sorry, with me. My mind still refused to fully accept the old dynamic. I sipped my water, smiled when appropriate, but internally I was sharp, watching, calculating. I checked my phone. Stephanie was 5 minutes away. My heart raced. She had agreed to come and she trusted me. I trusted myself, but the unpredictability of human emotion, Ryan's, Stephanie's, his family's, made it feel like walking blindfolded across a tightrope. And then the doorbell rang. Ryan's mom answered, puzzled. Are we expecting someone else? Mark shook his head, equally confused. Ryan's jaw tightened. My chest constricted, the storm breaking just at the edge of visibility. Stephanie appeared, holding a pie, smiling brightly, the kind of smile that reaches the eyes but carries its own weight of tension. "Hi, I'm so sorry to just show up," she said sweetly, "but I'm Ryan's girlfriend. He mentioned he'd be here for Thanksgiving, and I wanted to surprise him and finally meet everyone." The room went silent. Every eye shifted, calculating, processing, the invisible lines of past and present converging. Ryan's face drained of color. I stayed calm, as if frozen, though inside I was a quiet hurricane. He didn't speak. His mother's brow furrowed in confusion. Mark's jaw tightened, and Stephanie's gaze, warm and unwavering, found mine for the briefest second, a silent acknowledgement of trust and alliance. "Ryan, this is—" his words faltered. "You should have called first," I said, letting the ice in my voice make the room tremble slightly. "Why? You said you'd be here," Stephanie countered. "I wanted to surprise you." I watched as Ryan stumbled, the lies he had thought harmless unraveling in front of his family. His mother stepped in gently, protective of her son. "You didn't tell us you were seeing someone?" Ryan tried. It's new, Mom, not serious." Stephanie's smile didn't waver. 5 months isn't that new, babe. Has he not mentioned me?" The tension escalated in layers. Every pause, every glance, carried weight. His family was caught between instinctive protection, polite judgment, and confusion. And I was the calm eye in a storm that was about to hit its peak. Stephanie pulled out her phone, revealing the truth Ryan had tried to hide. Photos, captions, traces of memory carefully preserved. Evidence of lingering attachment. Ryan's excuses crumbled under the weight of reality. His family's questions cut deeper than any confrontation he could muster. Why hadn't he told them? Why hadn't he told me? How long had he been lying to everyone, even himself? I stayed quiet, observing, letting the truth unfurl. I felt no joy in this, only clarity, only the quiet satisfaction of aligning actions with morality. The chaos was not my creation. It was long overdue revelation, brought to light by careful, deliberate action. Stephanie's voice, calm but firm, struck through the room. "We've been together 5 months, Ryan. And you never told me about her, about the family, about the past, still lingering." The cracks in Ryan's carefully curated world widened, and I realized then, truth has a way of demanding its stage, whether people are ready for it or not. Inside, I prepared for the fallout. There would be anger, confusion, maybe tears. But there was also liberation, the truth finally exposed. And in that, I found a measure of peace. Because sometimes justice isn't loud. Sometimes it's quiet, calculated, precise. And tomorrow, Thanksgiving would bear witness. The doorbell rang again, sharper this time, cutting through the polite murmurs of conversation. Ryan's mom opened it, and there stood Stephanie, holding a pie and smiling like nothing could unseat her. "Hi. I hope it's okay that I just came by," she said, her voice light but firm. "I'm Ryan's girlfriend. I wanted to meet everyone and surprise him." The room froze. Every eye shifted, some in disbelief, some in confusion, and Ryan's face lost all color. I stayed calm, my posture steady, but inside a mixture of vindication and apprehension coiled tightly in my chest. I had orchestrated this reveal, and now the consequences were unavoidable. "Stephanie," Ryan started, but his words faltered. His jaw tightened, his hands fidgeted nervously. "You should have called first," I said, the quiet authority in my tone making the room tense. "Why? You said you'd be here," Stephanie replied evenly. "I wanted it to be a surprise." Ryan's mom frowned, stepping forward protectively. "You didn't tell us about her?" It's new," Ryan stammered. "Not serious." Stephanie's smile didn't waver. 5 months isn't new, Ryan. Has he not mentioned me?" She turned to the family. "I didn't know I'd be meeting all of you today. I thought this would be casual. I didn't know about Sarah." The room went electric with tension. Ryan's father sighed, rubbing his forehead. Mark, Ryan's brother, stared, incredulous, clearly trying to process the layers of deception unfolding before him. I remained silent, watching Ryan flail in the space he had taken for granted. His carefully curated calm, the image of being completely over his past, was shattered. Stephanie, methodical and deliberate, pulled out her phone, showing photos of the two of them together. Vacations, holidays, intimate moments that Ryan had kept tucked away, hidden from the world. I watched as Ryan's excuses faltered, under the weight of his own preserved memories. His family, caught between loyalty and shock, began to probe gently but firmly. Why hadn't he told anyone? How long had he been hiding this? Was he aware of the pain he was causing now? Stephanie's voice cut clearly through the room. "We've been together 5 months, Ryan. You never told me about Sarah, about Thanksgiving, about your family. Not once. How am I supposed to trust that anything you say now is true?" Ryan opened his mouth, but nothing came out. He was cornered by the truth, a truth he had chosen to ignore, thinking it would be harmless. The photos, the evidence of lingering attachment, the careful concealment of his past, all collided into one moment. Ryan's family watched, stunned. His mother spoke cautiously. "Sarah, I'm so sorry. I didn't know." "I didn't do this for drama," I said, my voice calm but resolute. "I did it because the truth matters. Not just for me, but for everyone here. Secrets only grow if you ignore them." Stephanie nodded, eyes briefly meeting mine with gratitude and understanding. "I deserve to know the full story. I didn't come here to make anyone uncomfortable. I came here to see the truth, finally." Ryan sank into the armchair, defeated, his face pale. His excuses had crumbled, his careful narrative exposed, and the family he had tried to navigate with lies now looked at him with quiet judgment. The tension was suffocating. Every breath in the room weighted. Ryan's silence spoke volumes. His lingering feelings for Stephanie, the careful omissions, the trust he had violated, all now visible. I realized then that my role in this chaos was not malicious. I had been the catalyst, yes, but not the instigator. The situation had existed long before I arrived, festering beneath smiles, polite conversation, and unspoken assumptions. The family's tolerance, Ryan's indecision, Stephanie's ignorance, and my own moral imperative had finally collided in one explosive moment. Stephanie finally spoke, softer now, almost sorrowfully. "I just needed to see him be honest, and now I have. Thank you, Sarah, for making that happen." I nodded, acknowledging the weight of her words. In that moment, I felt clarity, the bitter satisfaction of standing firmly for truth and self-respect. Ryan's family remained silent, processing. Mark finally spoke, his voice firm. "Ryan, you need to be honest with everyone, with Stephanie, with Sarah, with us. No more half-truths." Ryan opened his mouth again, but the words were weak, fumbling. He had nothing to offer that could repair the trust he had quietly eroded over months and years. I looked at him then, calmly, and said, "I didn't do this to hurt you. I did this because pretending everything was fine would have hurt all of us more in the long run." The room held its breath. Stephanie took a deep breath and stepped back, the moment complete. The confrontation had passed, the lies revealed, and the weight of truth now settled over the family like winter frost. For the first time that day, I felt a quiet release. The chaos I had anticipated was complete, but justice, not vengeance, had been served. Ryan could no longer hide behind smiles and casual platitudes. Stephanie could finally see the reality she deserved. And I, standing at the edge of this storm, felt the calm that only comes when one acts decisively in alignment with their conscience. Thanksgiving would never be the same, and in that I found a strange comfort. The house felt heavy after Stephanie left, the echoes of her polite, pointed words lingering like smoke. Ryan lingered at the doorway, his posture hesitant, his eyes searching mine for forgiveness, understanding, or perhaps a lifeline I wasn't willing to throw. "Sarah," he began, but I shook my head. "No," I said, calm, firm. "It's too late for explanations." Inside, I felt a strange mixture of relief and sorrow. Relief, because the truth was finally out in the open. Sorrow, because Ryan's indecision and secrecy had shattered what I thought was a trust-based relationship. He had been caught between past and present, and his inability to choose clearly had cost him more than I could repair. His mother hovered, concerned. "Maybe you two could talk this out," she suggested softly. "It's just Thanksgiving." I smiled faintly, appreciating her concern, but knowing the truth. "Thanksgiving isn't just about turkey," I said. "It's about honesty, and that's something that can't be forced with polite conversation." Ryan's father, Mark, and even Stephanie had left subtle imprints on the house, emotional fingerprints that would linger in memory. The truth, once revealed, could not be unseen, and now it belonged to all of us. Ryan tried again, quieter this time. "I never meant for it to go this far. I just didn't want to hurt anyone." "I get that," I said, "but sometimes avoiding discomfort hurts more than facing it. You prioritize convenience over clarity, over honesty, over me. And I can't step back into a situation where that's the expectation." His face fell, the gravity of the moment settling on him. For the first time, I saw Ryan fully exposed, stripped of charm, facade, and excuses, and I understood something fundamental. His love, or his version of it, had never been enough to sustain trust. I walked to my car without looking back. The weight of the house, of Thanksgiving, of secrets and half-truths, stayed behind. For the first time in months, I felt clarity. The storm had passed, and in its wake, the path forward was mine to choose. Later, I heard from Stephanie, a simple message. "Thank you, really, for being honest, for showing me the truth." We met for coffee a few times after that, bonding over the absurdity of the whole situation, the tangled web of emotions, and the clarity that comes from finally facing reality. She was starting a new chapter in her life, as was I. No lingering regrets, no desire for revenge, only perspective. Ryan moved on eventually, relocating for work and attempting to build new relationships with the echoes of his past now behind him. But for me, the lesson was sharper, indelible. Trust your instincts, honor your boundaries, and never compromise clarity for comfort. Mark, Ryan's brother, reportedly confronted the family later, insisting they had created a toxic dynamic by allowing Ryan's indecision and lingering feelings to persist unchecked. From what I heard, family therapy sessions began in earnest, conversations that were long overdue. As for me, my Thanksgiving the following year was quiet. No exes, no hidden relationships, no orchestrated revelations. Just friends, laughter, and the comfort of knowing that boundaries had been drawn, respected, and maintained. Sometimes the chaos you fear creating is exactly what's necessary to uncover the truth. I didn't invite Stephanie for drama. I invited her because honesty deserved a stage. Because truth, however painful, is far more important than comfort. I drove through autumn streets that year, windows down, sunlight catching the edges of the trees, and realized I was free. Free from manipulation, free from secrecy, free from anyone's expectation that I silently endure someone else's unresolved past. And for the first time, Thanksgiving felt like it should, quiet, intentional, and fully mine.